In just about 90 minutes from now, a South Carolina judge is set to hear arguments on whether a third party should take control of disgraced South Carolina attorney Alex Murdaugh's assets, with claims that he could be embezzling money between some unknown accounts. The disgraced lawyer has found himself embroiled in controversy. His former housekeeper, Gloria Satterfield, spent more than 2 decades with the Murdaugh family and died as a result of tripping and falling at the Murdaugh home. At least that's the story that Alec told investigators. Then it came out that Alex Murdaugh literally stole, according to the Satterfield estate and their attorney, that money that should have gone to them. Gloria Satterfield was that housekeeper. Eric Bland is the attorney for the Satterfield family, and I spoke to him. He started out by giving us some background on the case, as well as some details about what the lawsuit that he filed against the family means.
Eric, let's start with this hearing coming up, trying to freeze some assets. Apparently, what exactly are you trying to accomplish? And I guess some other participants as well.
Well, it's a motion that's filed in 3 separate cases. Tomorrow is the Mallory Beach case that the motion is going to be heard on. It's the same exact motion for 3 separate civil cases, which is a motion to appoint a receiver so that the receiver can come in and take over some of the assets of Alex Murdaugh to prevent further manipulation of those assets, dissipation, fraudulent transfers. Because since his arrest, his first arrest, in early September, he's been making some property transfers. He's given his power of attorney to his son, Buster. And we want to make sure that assets are protected for judgment creditors. He has liens by the IRS. And now that there's companion investigations, state and federal, there is a high likelihood that if upon conviction, he's going to have restitution orders. So it's basically getting a receiver to marshal all of his assets in.
You and your team are representing the Satterfield family, and Gloria, of course, passed away. Give us a sense for our viewers that aren't caught up. I know most of the country is caught up with every little detail of this case, but for those that aren't, who is Gloria Satterfield, and what happened allegedly involving Alex Murdaugh?
Gloria is just like everybody else. She was a hardworking woman in South Carolina, 57 years old. She had 2 sons. She had a couple marriages. She loved the Murdaughs. She worked for them for over 20 years, both the parents and some of the brothers, including obviously Alex, Maggie, and Paul and Buster. She helped raise those boys, and she looked at them like they were her own. She was coming to the house on February 2nd, 2018, and the house had steep steps, steep brick steps, and she was walking up those steps, and we're told that 4 of their dogs were acting rambunctiously, and she tripped and fell backwards down the stairs, and it put her in a health spiral. She suffered a subdural hematoma. She suffered crushed ribs, and she was hospitalized for 3 weeks and died on February 26, 2018. And after that, what happened at the funeral, Alex Murdaugh went to the family. He said, "I'm so sorry. Your mother died as a result of my dog. So what I would like to do, because there's such massive medical bills from the 3-week hospital stay, I want to take you to a lawyer friend of mine, and he'll make a claim against me. I will turn it over to my homeowner's insurance carrier, and hopefully we'll have enough money to be able to pay down these massive medical bills, and there may be something left over for the 2 sons." And that's how it all started.
And then the allegation is that the money did come in to the tune of basically $3 million.
4.3 million.
4.3 million, and the boys got nothing.
0.0.
What did he do allegedly, and along with his partner in crime, allegedly, to steal the money allegedly from the Satterfields?
Well, it's not allegedly that the money was stolen from the Satterfields. It was, but allegedly whether Corey Fleming committed a crime, I'm not going to comment on that. Alex Murdaugh certainly did. And what they did is they worked in concert with each other. Corey was a lifelong friend of Alex Murdaugh. They do hand in glove law. They switch cases back and forth, plaintiffs, passengers, and automobiles in different cases. And so he had Corey, who was godfather to his son, Paul, college roommate, bring claims against Alex. Alex then turned him over to his primary homeowner insurance carrier and his umbrella carrier. And he said to them, I am accepting responsibility. And there's a high likelihood that if we go to court, I'm going to tell the jury in the county that I'm beloved that I caused this accident. And I'm worried that the verdict is going to be more than my insurance coverage, leaving me to be handling the excess. The insurance companies are very scared of the Murdaughs, obviously, in Hampton County, because it's known as a judicial hellhole for defendants. And so they made the decision to settle for $4.3 million, which, I say Corey Fleming did everything wrong professionally, from a professional responsibility standpoint, but he did recover $4.3 million, which was a good thing. But that's all that happened. What then happened is, after he took his fee, all the money then went over to Alex Murdaugh, $3.5 million of that, under the guise that they were buying some kind of insurance structure for the kids. They disregarded court orders on how this money was to be distributed, never told our family that they settled a lawsuit for any amount of money. And it wasn't until after the Mallory Beach boating accident that people like you were starting to research and figure out, who are these Murdaughs? How are they so powerful? And they found this one lone petition in court to get approval for the first part of the settlement, $505,000 in 2020. Our people read about it in the newspaper and they said, what settlement? What are you talking about? We never got any money. Nobody ever told us there was a settlement. And so that's how it started.
All right, coming up, we'll have more of our interview with attorney Eric Bland. He details the alleged charges that Murdaugh faces of stealing millions of dollars, plus talks about addressing the court at his bond hearing. That's next. Former South Carolina attorney Alex Murdaugh is accused of a lot of things, including planning his own murder so that his son could claim a $10 million life insurance policy. He's now also under federal investigation for financial crimes related to the death of his former housekeeper, Gloria Satterfield, in 2018. In our interview with Eric Bland, the attorney for the Satterfields, he details why he believes that Alex Murdaugh poses a very big risk.
The bond hearing that we all witnessed on CourtTV, Judge Newman, who we know well from other trials, was very firm, and he departed on some level from a case like this in denying bond. You were able to address the court, and what you said really struck true with a lot of people. And you seem to be the most aggressive and the one that really just said it. Said, hey, this guy is
Clear and present danger.
Yeah. Tell us about that moment. Did you know you were going to?
I think what changed the paradigm was that the state was asking for a $200,000 bond. Dick Harpootlian was asking for a personal recognizance bond. My partner and I argued that he's a clear and present danger because he's already committed a crime with a gun over the Labor Day weekend when he tried to kill himself on a fake suicide type of crime. He filed a false police report. But then I said, now he's committing crimes with a pen. And if we're going to have an even justice system, people who commit crimes with a gun shouldn't be treated worse than somebody who commits crime with a pen for the same amount of money. And that resonated with the judge. What also resonated is he has stained our legal profession. And when you take that robe off as a judge, you're a lawyer. And we've suffered mightily in this state, a black eye, because of Alex Murdaugh. And I think the judge recognized that he was a clear and present danger to himself, obviously, because he tried to commit suicide. But he really felt that he was a clear and present danger to the society in general. And so took a courageous act on the judge's part. And I told him, I turned around and I said, Judge, look at all the cameras. The eyes of the world are on this courtroom. Where are we going to stand on the side of justice, or are we going to stand on the side of privilege? And he stood on the side of justice.
And you at one point said that Alex Murdaugh needs to start getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. And then outside, you addressed the same type of things with reporters. Let's listen to that.
We spend a lot of time in our practice litigating cases against lawyers that steal from their clients or breach their duties. And, you know, a lot of times we say when a lawyer steals with a pen, it's just as bad as somebody who steals with a gun. We talked about that in the court there today, and a lot of times it doesn't resonate. But I actually believe that it did resonate today, that in South Carolina, if you're going to do this with a pen, it's no different than somebody doing it with a gun. It places people's lives at risk and really harms society.
So bottom line here, in your estimation, what is this guy potentially capable of, was capable of, and to what degree do you believe that, because a lot of people think, oh, it's white collar, it's just this, he's not really a danger. Your thoughts?
I believe he is a danger. Whether he had a hand in his wife, God forbid, wife's or son's death, 5 bodies surround this guy in the last 6 years. Millions and millions of dollars that he stole, not only from our client, but according to the public filing of the law firm, stole millions of dollars from his own law firm, of which his brother is a partner in that firm. I don't believe there's anything that this man is not capable of. If you take Dick Harpootlian at face value, and he's a significant opioid addict, those are desperate people. Now, do I believe he's an opioid addict? Like I said in court, no, I don't. I don't believe he could have tried cases in front of a jury, met with clients, interacted with partners and family. I think it was a crime in search of a defense. However, if he is an opioid addict, he is a danger. He is dangerous. And there's nothing that he will do at this point. He doesn't have a wife. He lost his son. His father died after the June death of his wife, I think 3 days later. He knows he's going to spend many, many, many years in jail because there's companion state and federal investigations that are going on right now. So the only thing he has right now to trade on, his currency, is information. And we're going to see as the months go forward, is he willing to trade information to get some kind of beneficial lighter sentence?
The Satterfields have reportedly settled with Murdaugh's old law firm. Is that true? And have they been made whole? Will they be made whole?
They have settled with Corey Fleming. He disgorged himself of all fees that he received. He disgorged himself of all the costs that he charged the client, even though they were falsified costs. His insurance company tendered their entire face amount of their policy, and he remitted $113,800 from his escrow account. They've received $30,000 from Chad Westendorf, which was the improper fees that he charged as the personal representative. And I could say that they have reconciled their differences with the Murdaugh law firm. You understand what that means from a lawyer's standpoint. I believe that at the end of the day, my clients are going to be well made whole and then some, as they should be.
Are you surprised, or what's your reaction to the traction that this story has throughout the world? People are, for whatever reason, I know my opinions, but they're mesmerized by this idea that this type of individual could have this trail of bodies and these allegations. What's your overall thoughts on that?
Well, like I say, you know, it's a Grisham novel that's nonfiction. It's not fiction. But in its basic level, it has all the prurient interests. It has money. It has crime. It has positions of power, lawyers stealing, people abusing their trust. But don't kid yourself. There's Hampton counties in every state. Every state has small counties where there's either a powerful person or a powerful group of people that control it. What makes this so unique, though, is you have a little bit of the Southern flair. It's in the low country part of South Carolina, which has a rich history. But it is something that has captivated the nation because you see the demise of a family. You see 100 years of reputation built up, destroyed by Alex Murdaugh. So anybody with the Murdaugh name going forward is really tagged with something that's going to have a negative connotation.
Eric Bland, thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Anytime. Appreciate you having me on. Have a good day.
All right, that was Eric Bland. We talked to him last evening. Still with us, Atlanta Magistrate Judge Kimberly Bando and criminal defense attorney Jeffrey Wolf. The idea that this has caught on to the extent that it has, your thoughts, Kimberly, on why is it that we're so concerned about some situation going on in the middle of nowhere, South Carolina?
Because of the complexity and the manipulation involved, that you're planning your own death to give your son money. It's almost like a modern day criminal kind of, let's figure it out who, like, it's just astonishing. That's the word. It's astonishing about all the things that he's done and the fact that he's an attorney, he's an officer of the court, and he has this duty to, and these rules that he's supposed to be living by, and that he didn't, is astonishing. And that's why we're all intrigued by it. And we want to see, like, how'd he do it, what happened, and what's going to happen.
Jeffrey, the Murdaugh family in that area went back hundreds of years in terms of established lawyers. They were many times prosecutors. They were the law. And now he's on the other side of it. Your thoughts overall in this case?
Yeah, I mean, it's a drama playing out in real time, right? It's the rich and the powerful. It's a soap opera. It's this family that's in charge of this small town's legal community, basically. And you're seeing somebody who should have more expected of them than to be able to do this. He should have been raised better. He should have learned better. He should be better. And as attorneys, I agree with what Mr. Bland was saying when he said that this is a stain on attorneys, because it is. This is why attorneys have the reputation that we have, is because these are the stories that people think of. They think of the attorney always trying to get one over on the court, always trying to get one over on the jury, always trying to get one over on their client, and always trying to get one over on the other side. And this guy is the worst example of it. And it's good to see people like Mr. Bland standing up and fighting back, because as attorneys, we should expect more of ourselves and our colleagues.
And Kimberly, the white-collar aspects of his alleged crimes are one thing. He's also a person of interest in the death of his wife and son. That's a different level, and that's the one thing that he and his team has fought and said, no. You can say whatever. Alec admits he did a lot of bad things. He did not kill these two individuals. However, because of the other things, the suspicion has mounted, and now he's under a microscope.
Yeah, I mean, it's the implicity, like, it's implied. Like, if you would kind of plan your own murder or suicide to pretend for insurance funds, it's not a far leap to think that you would kill your family for insurance funds. And I think that's probably why the public is drawing that conclusion and trying to connect those dots, because of what he's already kind of been explored for and investigated for and had partially admitted to.
And again, there's a hearing today scheduled in South Carolina. The focus of that hearing is for the assets of Alex Murdaugh to be frozen, being brought by the family of Mallory Beach. She died in a boating accident where Alex Murdaugh's son was driving the boat, allegedly, and just one of the many prongs of this story. We want to thank Kimberly Bando, as always, for her expertise with us this morning. Jeffrey's going to stick around with us for another hour. As we approach the top of the hour, we're going to take a break. We're still monitoring jury selection going on in Brunswick, Georgia, for the three men accused of killing Ahmaud Arbery. This is a live look inside the individual questioning, which is going on at this hour. This is the opportunity for these juries to drill down on these prospective jurors. They were only able to qualify 5 yesterday. We'll see how they do today. This is Court TV, your front row seat to justice. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Happy Friday. Glad to have you along with us on Court TV Live. I'm Ted Rollins. We are following 2 major trials. Day 9 of jury selection begins this hour. Actually began a couple hours ago in Brunswick, Georgia, for the men accused of killing Ahmaud Arbery. A new panel of jurors brought in this morning. They listened to both sides deliver their initial questioning in a group setting, and now they are into individual voir dire, trying to drill down on each and every one of these potential jurors to see if they should move on to the next round. In Florida, jurors reacted to the verdict in the Keith Johansen murder trial. They found him guilty of first-degree murder in his wife's death. That's where we're going to start. It took the jury just 2 hours and 50 minutes to find Johansen guilty. Our producer, in fact, in the courtroom said that as soon as that verdict was announced, the victim's family burst into tears. Here's a look at how that verdict was read in court.
In the Circuit Court 7th Judicial Circuit in Fort Flagler County, Florida, State of Florida versus Keith John Johansen, case number 2018-426 CFFA, Judge Christopher France. Verdict: Count 1 of the indictment. We, the jury, find the defendant, Keith John Johansen, as follows to count 1 of the indictment. Guilty as charged as the crime of first-degree murder. So say we all, dated at Bunnell, Flagler County, Florida, this 28th day of October, 2021, foreperson.
Would either side like the jury poll?
Yes, you will.
Madam Clerk, please poll the jury.
Juror number 1, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes, ma'am.
Juror number 2, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 3, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 4, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 5, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 6, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 7, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 8, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 9, is this your true and correct verdict? Juror number 10, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 11, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 12, is it true and correct verdict?
Yes.
Hearing no legal bar to sentencing, having been adjudicated guilty of the crime of first-degree premeditated murder, Mr. Johansen, I do sentence you to life in prison in the custody of the Florida Department of Corrections without the possibility of parole for the murder of Miss Salenza. You have 30 days to appeal both the imposition of this judgment and sentence, as well as the proceedings that we've conducted this week, meaning the trial. If you're unable to afford an attorney to do that, we'll appoint one for you. You understand that? Okay.
Keith Johansen, he took the stand, told a story to the jury that they did not believe. Now will spend the rest of his life behind bars. Let's now turn to jury selection in Brunswick, Georgia. The court only qualified 5 potential jurors on Thursday. That brings the total number up to 47. The goal is to get to 64 before the court can move to the next phase of jury selection, where the lawyers will exercise their preemptory strikes. At this rate, we're expecting it to take another 2 to 3 days to reach that target. CourtTV legal correspondent Julia Janae is outside the courthouse in Brunswick, Georgia, with the latest.
Jury selection continues to shift and evolve. It's been 9 days now of intense questioning inside of that courtroom. And on Thursday, the court agreed to a new line of questioning. This was after accusations came from the defense table claiming that the prosecution was withholding important social media information. Kevin Goff, representing Roddy Bryan, said that this creates a disadvantage in representing his client. Take a listen.
The defendants are laboring under limited resources, under the best of circumstances, particularly when it comes to the social media stuff, which is relatively new. I mean, I've never had a jury trial before where social media was such a significant. It's one thing in divorce court. That's all easy to follow. This is very different. There is such a disparity in this 21st century digital age, Your Honor, with all this online and social media, that it is impossible, even for the best defended defendants, to keep up with all of that.
Kevin Goff there arguing that there may be a Brady violation with the prosecution not turning over enough information that they are required to. This came about after the questioning of potential juror number 199. Here's a bit of information about her. She's a black woman in her 50s or 60s. And on her questionnaire, she said of Ahmaud Arbery that they hunted him down and killed him like an animal. But she said that nothing about the posts that she has seen on social media would keep her from being fair, said that she could be an impartial juror. The defense then confronted her with her own